we'll start with some questions here locally. We'll go to Andy Anders. Go ahead.
Yeah, Carson, just as you guys broke down the film, what did you see that maybe went wrong in pass protection, and how have you worked to correct that in these few weeks leading up to the CFP?
Yeah, obviously our pass protection wasn't up to par of what our expectation is. Looking at some of the things, just going back to fundamentals, I think over this next couple of weeks, we know what's going to be important. I've fortunately been in this position last year. Somewhat similar of a situation where you see some things where you're like, okay, as the season progresses, maybe sometimes you get away from a little bit of fundamental work, but that's exactly what we've been doing these past couple of weeks to get back into it, to get ready to go play some of these great defensive ends and defensive rushers that we have coming out.
Austin Ward.
So what did Gabe prove to you guys there in the second
half? The game you said?
Gabe, when he got in there.
Van Sickle, yeah. Sickle mode, he's been proven that he's more than capable of going out there and playing with us. He's we always talk about, what are you doing, how are you doing it, and why you're doing it. And I think he's done a great job of not only building his own confidence, but building confidence with Philip and I playing between there. And so for him to be able to go out there and show we have more depth than we thought, I think originally was really important, especially going to this latter half of the season.
All the way in the back, Daniel.
You mentioned last year, it seemed like you guys really flipped the switch last year in the college football playoff. What was it that you think enabled you guys to do that last year, and how do you do it again this year?
Yeah, I think it's just getting back to the basics. I think we always say, the foundation we built is going to be the thing that, carries us through all the storms and stuff like that. And so I think for us, these little bit of a space and a little bit of gap time we've had right now has been getting back to the basics, back to the fundamentals, working really hard in practice and not getting complacent. I think it's easy for teams that have had, we've had a really successful regular season to get complacent, and that's not at all where we're at. So even though we have a new team right now, or a much different looking team than last year, I feel like everyone has the same message and same goal in mind.
I know you guys weren't happy with what happened in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Has that fired you? Because you guys have had an edge all season long, a nastiness, and for whatever reason, it seemed to be lacking a little bit. Has that fired you guys up going into this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think playing offensive line here, I think you develop an edge, and I think when the edge isn't portrayed or it isn't shown in the game, I think it definitely fires the guys up a little bit because at the end of the day, I truly believe the guys we have, if we're playing at our best level with, I think we play with anyone in the country. So absolutely, it does fire us up, and I think it's kind of the message throughout the room that we get back to who we were on that Team North game.
Third row in the middle, Spencer.
Everybody talks about the Miami defensive ends, but
Mhm.
the tackles kind of help that thing go.
Yeah.
What have you seen from the defensive tackles there, and how big of a challenge do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, the interior there is good. They're elite level defense. It'll be a great challenge for us to go out and play, a competitor that we haven't really originally. Watching the A&M game, obviously they get pressure. They do what they're supposed to do, and so it's going to be a great challenge, like I said, for us up front. Like you said, obviously interior wise, but obviously the edges are elite. So it's going to be a good game and a good opportunity for us to go show what we're about.
Okay, we'll go to the internet and to Zoom. Scotty, take it over.
Yes, sir. Our first question is going to come from Bill Landis. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Carson, how do you think it's going with Julian this year when you guys have to communicate protections and sort of identify all the moving parts of the defense? He said you were a big help to him early on this season. Now that you're 13 games into this, what's that relationship like and that stuff figured out?
Yeah, it's been, I don't know, I'm not really sure where to look for you. Speak to upwards. It's been good. He's been growing, every game we played. He's an extremely smart individual. It's been really fun to be able to work with him and see kind of his thoughts because, there's, a million ways to skin a cat. There's a million ways to diagnose a, pass protection front. And sometimes the way I see it isn't the way he sees it and vice versa. But at the end of the day, we figure out good ways to, alleviate some of the pressure on him. And so I feel like this past game, obviously we worked through some stuff, and I think this game, these games coming up will be a great opportunity to show that we've worked through a little bit of the kinks there and have a good plan to keep him protected.
The next question will come from Brianna McKay. Go ahead, Brianna.
Hi. You talked a little about Miami's defense. Is there any similarities that you see from what you saw against Indiana that you can go back and look and take lessons from going up against Miami, just comparing the two defenses?
Yeah, I mean, I guess necessarily like defensive scheme wise, they're not really a whole lot similar in that aspect. There might be a little bit similar to other games we played earlier this year, but just defensive scheme wise, player wise, obviously a little bit different as well. So it's just comes down to doing a great job of film watching, preparing for your opponent. I've been blessed to be a part of a lot of games, so nothing we haven't seen before. Like I said, they're elite level players, and it'd be an elite level game. I got to be prepared to play 60 minutes against a great defense, so that's all we're doing.
Next question is gonna come from Christian Frocia. Christian?
Hey Carson, how's it going? When you look at this Miami defense coming off from the 7-sack game against Texas A&M, you as the leader of this offensive line, especially having 2 weeks to come off of that Indiana game, what's the biggest message that you sent to all the other guys on the line as far as, hey, we can't let them have another disruptive defensive day like this?
Yeah, I think that comes down to being efficient in those early downs. I think for us, it's going to be really important to run the run game, or to be in charge of the run game as the offensive line, being in charge of keeping Julian, safe. I think these games come down to being able to make positive throws and completions, and keeping us on schedule. And so for us to be able to have a part in that is going to be huge this game.
Our next question is gonna come from Dan Tortor. Dan, go ahead.
Carson, just what you could say to the fact of not just, what you endured this last game against Indiana, but overall this season, of the guys that are on either side of you on this offensive line, to take a deeper look at how this offensive line has grown from game one to stepping into the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, I think experience is invaluable, and I think to see how guys have stepped up and have embraced their roles, I think has been huge. Like I just said a little bit earlier, Gabe has been doing a great job, stepping into that right guard position right now, as well as other guys that have rotated that position. Josh Padilla as well has been doing a great job, just saying, just learning and growing. He's an absolutely fantastic player as well as all of our depth. And I think, like I said, like this is really the latter half of the season is where you show your depth and show your stripes and show the kind of foundation you built. And so it's going to be important that we have all those guys. And I think throughout the season we've had a lot of opportunities to get those guys experience as well. And I think that's been perfect for what we're going into.
That's all from Zoom. Mike?
Okay, thank you. We'll do one more here locally.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Did you call Gabe Van Sickle sicko mode?
Oh, yeah. There's a whole lot of nicknames on offensive line. That's why I said Gabe, and I was like, I don't really know what that is. But that's Sicko. You gotta love Sicko. We got actually Secret Santa coming up today, so we gotta stay tuned for that. So we're really excited. So a whole lot of nicknames coming up, and who's ever getting gifts today, but it'll be good.
Is that
later.
related to how he plays in sicko mode, or why?
I think it's just, for some reason, it's funner to say than Gabe. I don't know. It's kind of like calling Austin Piggy and stuff like that. I don't know. We all, the brotherhood grows closer, man. You get a lot of inside jokes every now and then, but yeah, that'll be fun.
What's all the other starters' nicknames?
I don't know if I should say all of them.
What's that a PG?
I'll say it depends who's talking to him, if it's me or the coaches, but no, I'm just kidding. Like Austin's Piggy. I always me and Luke always go back and forth a lot. I just call him Montgomery, but whatever, we just go back and forth. I said Tag is Tigre. Gabe's Sicko Mode. Josh is Dilla. Like, I don't think anyone actually knows his real name. Dilla or Padilla, yeah. Julian's Big J. Ethan, I don't think anyone knew his name was Ethan. Everyone just called him Big E for the longest time. But I don't know. Like I said, our brotherhood, really close guys. It's been fun to be part of a group that, came, together off a lot of, experience leaving and stuff like that, and been a part of the growth back into it. And playing these big games with them is pretty special.
What's your nickname?
Mine? I said depends who you ask. I don't know. I don't know. We'll keep that one under wraps for now.
Is the blonde here to stay?
Well, I understand. I mean, I don't know. Well, all the guys are like, when's it going to wash out? And I was like, that's actually the funny thing about bleaching your hair is it doesn't. Unfortunately. It was really cool until I woke up the next morning and I'm like, oh, I'm still blonde. So, yeah. So we'll see. It'll be cool when it's frosted tips, but yeah, my girlfriend's not necessarily the biggest proponent of it, so we'll see.
Carson, thank you.
Very good. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Carson.
Sir.